The episode begins by showing a villain at peace, but a young man with a big nose suddenly appears, running and shouting that pirates are coming to the once calm island. The scene cuts to Nami, who says they'll never be able to reach the Grand Line. Luffy and Zoro look at her, confused, but Luffy says she's right because the ship is running out of meat. He adds that eating only fruit every day gets boring. Zoro comments that a little drink would be nice. Says he wasn't talking about food or drinks. She meant that the Grand Line is the most dangerous place in the world. She explained that the biggest and most dangerous pirates are there searching for the One Piece. She also says they sail on powerful ships, unlike the one they're on. Luffy replies that they also have a big crew. Nami says their ship is small, and in their current condition, they have no chance of getting there. Luffy confidently says they'll definitely find a cook and also a musician. Zoro asks what they even need a musician for and starts laughing. Nami looks at the map and says there's a village nearby. Every single day, this young boy would run through the village screaming that pirates were coming, and almost every time it was a lie. The villagers were already tired of his cruel pranks, but the teenager would just walk away laughing as if he enjoyed annoying everyone. The kids in the village called him Captain Usopp. Out of nowhere, another child came running and crying, saying he had seen a pirate ship and a pirate flag, but Usopp immediately said the kid was lying. This time, however, the child insisted it was true. When Usopp asked again if he was really telling the truth, the boy confirmed it. For the first time, Usopp, who always lied and laughed about it, began to worry about the safety of his village. The kids started giving more details, and even though Usopp dreamed of being a pirate, he was terrified. But when the child said there were only 3 people on the ship, Usopp quickly changed his attitude and declared that he would team up with the children to protect their home. Meanwhile, Luffy and his crew arrived at the village. Luffy, of course, was mostly concerned about whether there would be meat. Nami got annoyed and told him to stop thinking only about food. Zoro warned that someone was nearby, and suddenly gunshots were fired at the Straw Hats, and 3 pirate flags were raised by Usopp's crew. Usopp shouted that he had thousands of men under his command, and that the Straw Hats stood no chance against him. Luffy was impressed, but Nami immediately said it was all a lie, and Usopp gave up, asking how she knew he was lying. Usopp proudly said he had loyal followers, and Nami questioned whether his loyal followers were just those 3 kids. Luffy started laughing at Usopp, irritating him, but then Luffy became serious for a moment and said Usopp would have to pay with his life because Luffy was a real pirate. Zoro even backed him up. Luffy told Usopp that if he didn't know how to take a joke, he shouldn't make them. Seconds later, Usopp was trembling with fear, and Luffy and Zoro burst out laughing, saying they were joking. Luffy then explained that he heard those words from a pirate named Shanks, and Usopp asked if he actually knew Shanks. Luffy said yes, and also mentioned the name of Usopp's father, saying his father's name was Yasop. Usopp, shocked, asked how Luffy knew that. Luffy said he had seen Yasop once when he was a kid, and that Yasop was an incredible sharpshooter who sailed with Shanks' crew. He wasn't sure if Yasop was officially part of the Red Hat Pirates, but he definitely knew he was a great marksman. Somewhere else, a young blonde girl was talking to a waiter. He asked why she wanted to see Usopp, saying she was sick, and hearing Usopp's lies could be bad for her health. Since her parents had died, the waiter was responsible for taking care of her. She replied that the waiter was just being mean. Usopp then found a secret passage and went to visit the girl. He introduced himself proudly as a brave warrior of the sea, because she was sad she couldn't receive visitors. She was ill and spent most of her time in her room. She asked what adventure Usopp would tell her today. He said he would tell the story of when he was young and fought a giant golden fish whose poop was enormous. The girl laughed while Usopp exaggerated his stories. Meanwhile, the kids searching for Usopp ended up at his house, where Luffy's crew was eating. They asked where Usopp was, and Luffy and Zoro jokingly told them Usopp had been eaten alive. The kids panicked and even called Nami an old witch, which made her furious. After explaining the truth, Luffy, Nami, and Zoro went to the mansion where Usopp told his lies to the sick girl. The case explained that Usopp only lied to her to make her smile, because even though she had a lot of money, she had lost her parents and lived a very sad life. Luffy said Usopp was a good guy, and the kids agreed. Using his rubber arms, Luffy launched himself and the crew over the mansion wall. They ended up landing very close to where Usopp was telling his story from atop a tree, while the blonde girl listened from her window. After hearing the noise, the waiter rushed outside, and then a strange, creepy man appeared, looking very similar to Michael Jackson. The episode ended right there. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the video and sticking around until the end. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to support the channel. Leave a like so I know you're enjoying the content, and don't forget to drop your comments and suggestions below. We're in this together. Thanks.